Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How are you guys doing? How has your day been? And how did your day go? For those that their day is ending, hope you had a great day. For those that their day is about to start, hope you're planning to have a great day. How did everything go with you? It's a brand new day, a day of possibilities, and we're here to discuss possibilities too. So, before I start, I want to say thank you to everyone that has been part of this series from the first day. So we started the focus series a couple of days ago, and we are at the series final, the climax of the series, which is episode 10. And I want to really say thank you to everybody that has been part of this series for sharing, for liking us, the videos, for asking questions and stuff like that. So tonight is the final episode of this series centered around focus. It's been a great one. It's been a great ride. And please, if you've not seen all the videos, all the episodes, please go look at it. Let us know what your thoughts are, and let's keep going. We're going to start a new series pretty soon, but let's get out of this first. Tonight, it's about the whole theme here is about focus creates the life you keep praying for. The whole talk was about focus for the series. Wrapping it off, I'm saying focus creates the life you keep praying for. Friends, family, tonight I really want to speak to the person who is tired of wanting a different life, but you keep waking up inside the same patterns. The person who has prayed, you have prayed. The person who have hoped, the person who have reflected, the person who have cried, who has cried, the person who has promised themselves that things will change. And yet, if they are honest, they know there is still a painful gap between the life they keep talking about and the life they're actually building. I want to talk to the person who knows there is more in them, who knows that the result they're producing doesn't measure with what they can produce. I want to talk to the person who knows there's more peace in them. There's more discipline in them. There's more focus. There's more courage. There's more consistency, more purpose in them, more life in them. But see, they also know something else. They also know that potential alone has never been enough. That's the person I want to talk to tonight. Desire alone, they know that desire alone is not enough. They know that emotions alone is not enough. Good intention is not enough. And that is why that is what we're going to face tonight. Because this is the truth that brings the whole series together. You know, we've been doing a whole series and we've done 10 episodes. We've done 9 episodes. This is episode number 10, which is the grand finale. Focus creates the life you keep praying for. Let me say it again so that it will settle in your spirit. Focus creates the life you keep praying for. Not just prayer by itself, not just prayer, no, not just wishing, not just admiring change, not just fantasizing about change, not just talking about growth. Focus. Because focus is how your life begins to match what your heart keeps asking for. Focus is how your days stop betraying your deepest desires. Focus is how your energy starts landing in places that can actually bear fruit. Focus is how your future stops being a beautiful idea and it starts becoming a visible pattern. And some of you need this thought in a very deep way because you're tired of living too far beneath what you know is possible. You're tired of giving results that are beneath what you know you could give out. You're tired of drift. You're tired of emotional inconsistency. You're tired of noise. A lot of you are tired of starting over. You're tired of scattered efforts. You're tired of letting what matters most in your life, eat, eat up the last crumb from the table. You're tired of watching years. It starts from months, year, and it goes to years. You're tired of watching them move while your deepest life keeps waiting. That is real pain. And I want to say this carefully tonight because I want it to land in your spirit. There is a grief that comes when you know you've been alive but not fully aligned. You've been alive but not present. And even when you're present, you're not planted. You're busy but you're not fruitful. You're trying. I'm not saying you're not doing anything. You're trying but not truly concentrated. Hello guys, thanks for joining. I see all of you that join. That grief is real and many people carry it silently. You function, you go to work, you smile, you show up, you know, you do what needs to be done. But beneath all of those, there is this quiet pain. I know I was made for more than this version of my life. And tonight, I do not want to merely motivate that pain. I want to honor it. Because sometimes the pain in your soul is telling the truth. It's not that your life has no value. No, no, no. Forget about that. But that too much of your value has been scattered. Too much of your value has been here, there. So if you've been with us through this series, if you've been watching these different videos, you would have concluded that that is the truth. It's not that you're worthless. No. But that too much of your energy had gone to things that could not return life to you. We talked about energy being finite in this series. It's not that you're too late, because a lot of people say, hey, Matt, I'm too late, I think. But that it is time to stop leaking what is left. That is what tonight is about. Tonight is about pulling everything together, everything we've talked about, the distraction, the busyness, the divided mind, the weak boundaries, the emotional inconsistency, the small distractions, the starting over again, the drift, all of it, pulling them together and seeing one clear truth. If your attention keeps going in the wrong direction, your life will keep moving away from what you say you want. But if your attention becomes focused on the goal, your life will begin changing in ways you've prayed for. Your life will keep on changing in ways you have hoped for, in ways you've cried for, in ways you've longed for. So if this message is already finding you, if you know you're ready for your life to stop being scattered, if you want what matters to finally start getting your best, I want you to stick around. You're in the right place. Like you always know, like I don't know if you know, but we don't do hype in this channel. It is all about alignment, it's all about growth. So let's talk. Many people want the life. There's no doubt about that. Oh, I did a short video around that. Many people want the life. They want peace. They want stability. They want joy. They want deep relationships. They want strong families. They want clearer mind. They want discipline. They want healing. They want to become the version of themselves they sense is possible. Many people want that. But wanting the life is not the same as building the life. That is the truth. And sometimes that truth, it hurts. Because most people have sincere desires, but their daily focus is still feeding the opposite reality. They want peace, but they feed chaos. They want growth, but they feed distraction. They want discipline, but they feed comfort. They want depth, but they feed shallowness. They want healing, but they feed the wound. They want purpose, but they give their best energy to urgency, to emergencies. And when that mismatch continues long enough, people begin to feel disappointed in life. When what they are really feeling is what we call the pain of alignment. That's a different kind of pain, my friends. It is the pain of seeing what you want while also seeing that your life is not yet cooperating with it. And that is what focus changes. Focus closes that gap. It takes what you say matters and begin directing your real attention to it. That is powerful, my friends. That is very powerful. Because until your life lines up with your longing, you'll keep living in tension. A tension between who you are and who you know you could become. A tension between the future you asked God for and the present you keep feeding. That tension is exhausting. It is exhausting. And many of you know exactly what I mean. You're tired not only because life is hard. You're tired because your life has been divided. Your language says one thing, your pattern says another. Your hope says one thing, your attention says another. That itself, it drains the soul. That split, it drains the soul. See, your life cannot grow on leftovers. Your life cannot grow on leftovers. The life you want can never grow on leftovers. That is one of the deepest truths of this whole series. And the greatest thing about it is that it blessed me so much because I learned a lot from this series myself. Your peace cannot grow on leftovers. Your marriage cannot grow on leftovers. Your calling cannot grow on leftovers. Your healing cannot grow on leftovers. Your relationship with God cannot grow on leftovers. What about your dream? It cannot. Your real future cannot grow on leftovers. And yet many people live like that. They give the best of themselves to pressure. They give the best of themselves to emergencies. They give the best of themselves to urgencies. The best of themselves they give to noise. They give to distraction. They give the best of themselves to everybody else's demands. And when the day is nearly gone, when their energy is nearly gone, when their mind is already crowded, they try to hand what is left to the things that matters most. That does not work well. That combination does not work well. Because what matters most usually requires your best clarity, not your leftovers. What matters most requires your best presence, not your fragments. It requires your best attention, not what remains after everything else has been fed. And many people are grieving a life that never deepened, when in reality, that life kept getting served what was less over. See, that is the truth, but it is very important, and that truth is hard. Because see, if what you want, like what you if what you want keeps living on the leftovers, you will keep wondering why it stays weak. It stays weak because it keeps eating last. And focus says no more. Focus says stop that, no more. Focus says what matters most will no longer live on the edge of my life. Focus says I will no longer earn the center of my future to what is merely loud. Focus says my best attention will no longer belong to everything except my real life. Friends, that is maturity. That is stewardship. And that is why focus creates the life you keep praying for. Because focus moves what matters from the margins to the center. Focus redirects it redirects your attention from noise to the center. Let me try to paint a picture at this point so that you can get the message in principle. There was a person who had become very good at handling life. They were there for people. They handled responsibilities very well. They took the calls. They solved the issues. They carried the load. They were very useful. They stayed very responsive. And because of that, from the outside, they look very strong. They look capable. They look responsible, reliable. But one day, in a quiet moment, they felt something break inside. Not in a very dramatic way, but in a very honest way. They realized they have been present for so many things, but they have been absent from their own becoming. They have been absent from their own growth. That line hurt them. They have been physically present in life, but not deeply present in the part of life that matters most. Their own growth has been waiting, it has been starving. Their own healing has been starving. Their own vision had been starving. Their own inner life had been starving, it has been waiting. And what made it painful was that none of this happened because they were bad. No. That's the very painful part. It happened because they were scattered. Their attention had not been, it has not been, it had been spent outward, sideways, everywhere, except one direction, deeply inwardly. It has been spent on every other person apart from their own goals, apart from their own growth, apart from the life they pray that they want. And some of you know that pain. You know what it feels like to realize that you've been alive, you've been active, you've been useful, you've been involved, but not deeply aligned. That's not a small ache. Because it makes you ask questions like, what have I really been building? What have my days really been serving? If I keep living this way, what will my life become? When do the things that matters most finally get my best? See, friends, those questions, Those questions, they can shake a person. If you listen to them very well, they can shake you, but they can also pivot you in the right direction. And sometimes you need that shaking. Sometimes you need those questions so that you can pivot. Because only awoken people start protecting their life differently. People that are sleeping, those that are enjoying what they are going through, they don't protect their lives. As we talked about in this series, one of the things I came to learn myself as I was going through the notes, putting these notes together, is that focus is not just productivity. I used to think focus is all about productivity. This series taught me that focus is not just productivity. Focus is devotion. Focus is security. Focus is where your life bows. That is why it matters so much. Because whatever you consistently focus on receives a kind of devotion from you. Your time bows there. Your emotion bows there. Your energy bows there. Your thought life bows there. And if what has your devotion is not worthy of your life starts reflecting that unworthy devotion. That is why focus cannot be treated casually. It cannot be handled with levity. This is not only about getting more done. No. It is about deciding what is worthy of your best. Is fear worthy of your best attention? Is comparison worthy of your best attention? Is distraction worthy of your best attention? Is endless urgency worthy of your best attention? Is shallow consumption worthy of your best attention? I'll answer for you. The answer is no. I don't need you to tell me, Matt, this is the answer. I know the answer is no. Because we are all humans. There are some things that are aligned, that are even alike to everybody. So then, why have they had so much access? Why have they had so much attention? Why are they enjoying so much focus? Why are they at the center of your life? Friends, that question matters. That's a question that is worthy of you to sit down with and rethink your life. Because see, until you ask that question honestly, you may keep giving sacred things to shallow places. And your life is too sacred for that. Your future is too sacred for that. Your peace is too sacred for that. Your calling is too sacred for that. Focus is devotion. And some of you need to choose again what your life is devoted to. Not with words only, not with words, with patterns. With patterns. Let me pause here and ask you something. What part of your life, or what part of the life you want, has been getting your leftovers? Is it your peace? Is it your healing? Is it your marriage? Is it your consistency? Is it your health? Is it your purpose? Is it your relationship with God? Is it your real future? What has been getting the leftovers? Because the answer to that question reveals where your next level may be waiting. Not in more desire, but in better protection. Let me paint another picture at this point. There was a man who sincerely prayed for peace. He wanted peace in his mind, peace in his home, peace in his future, peace in his emotions. And his prayer was real. But day after day, without noticing it, it kept feeding panic. It fed rush, it fed pressure, it fed worst case thinking, worst case scenarios. It fed over consumption of bad news. It fed the habit of checking what kept him anxious. It fed the mental rehearsal of everything that could go wrong. Murphy's Law, eh? So on one side, he prayed for peace. On the other side, he kept building an inner environment where peace could not easily survive. That realization changed him because now he can see the gap. He could see that prayer was not the problem. Desire was not the problem. The problem was that his patterns were still cooperating with panic more than they are cooperating with peace. Some of you are facing the same truth tonight. Not in exactly that form though, but in some form. You're asking for one thing while you're feeding another. You're asking for focus, but you're feeding distraction. You're asking for healing, but you're feeding the wound. You're asking for discipline, but you're feeding emotional inconsistency. You're asking for depth, but you're feeding shallow habits. That is why, see, this is not to condemn you. It is said to awaken you. Because once you see the mismatch, you begin to close the gap. And closing the gap changes a life. That is where life is changed. Let's be honest. Why do so many people stay in the realm of wanting of wanting more without crossing into building more? As I was thinking about it, I said, you know what, Matt? I think because wanting feels good. Wanting is emotional. Wanting is safe. Wanting lets you imagine a better life without immediately facing the cost of building it. Because building is different. Building requires you saying no. Building requires protection. Building requires focus. Building requires discomfort. It requires patience, sacrifice. Building requires you to protect what matters from what is merely loud. And many people love the fantasy of the future. They love that emotional feeling of the future, but they keep avoiding the discipline of construction. They keep avoiding the discipline of building that future. That is real. They love the idea of peace, but not the pruning that peace requires. They love the idea of success, but not the concentration success requires, not the focus success requires. They love the idea of healing, but not the honesty healing requires. And if that is never confronted, people can live a long life in admiration without transformation. They live a life of hope. Hope. While hope is good, but when you're sold hope the wrong way, you can live on hope all the rest of your life. And you don't cross into the realm of building. Have you seen people that are always inspired? When you're talking, they're always nodding. They're always saying, yeah, that is true. But they're not actually doing anything about it. They're not actually building. Tonight is not for admiration. It's for construction. It's for building. It's for you moving across from the point of prayers alone Oh, you've prayed to God about the kind of life you want to live. Now, what are you going to do about it? This final episode, it has to bring us here because we've talked about all these things from the beginning. You've heard enough by now. If you've been following us, you've heard enough by now. You've felt enough. You've been inspired enough. You've seen enough. The question is, what are you going to build? What are you going to do with it? Let me slow down here because I want this to land deeply. Whether you're online tonight or you're going to watch the replay of this, some of you are grieving a life you haven't yet lived, even. And see, you're grieving this life not because it's gone, but because you can feel how easy it could be lost if you keep living scattered, if you keep living the way you're living. That is real. You can feel it. You can feel that if the distraction stays in charge, if emotions continue to remain in charge, if the inconsistency you live in right now stays in charge, if the weak boundary stays in charge, if the divided mind stays in charge, if this emotional drift remains in charge, then the life you keep dreaming about may remain mostly imagined. It may remain mostly in the future. And that hurts. That hurt is painful. Because when the person starts realizing they have the capacity for a better life, they have the capacity for a deeper life, they have the capacity for a more advanced life, it becomes painful to keep living beneath that capacity, to keep living beneath that life. It becomes painful to keep leaking time, to keep wasting your energy, to keep spending your energy and not investing your energy towards the life you want. It becomes painful to keep handing the center away. It becomes painful to keep abandoning what matters in small ways. And maybe that pain you're feeling is mercy. Maybe the ache is not there to crush you. Maybe it's there to call you higher. Because sometimes the reason you can no longer enjoy scattered living is that your spirit have seen too much to stay asleep. And if that is true, then tonight is not about guilt. It's about response. What will you do with what you know now? That is the most emotional truth of the night. What will you do with all these things we'll be talking about? Because once you know that focus creates the life you keep praying for, you cannot unknow it again. Now you have to do one thing, make a choice. Will you keep admiring a different life, or you will start building one? You have been praying, you've been on this path of praying, wishful thinking, hoping. All right, what I'm calling you to do right now is flip over to the part of construction, flip over to the part of building. All this information you got, all this raw material you got, don't sit on it and be thinking of the life that you could have. Don't sit on it and be thinking of the life that could have been, because you know your capacity. You know what was deposited inside of you. And you know what you know now. What will you do with it? Friends, like I said, this episode is bringing all other 9 episodes together. What will you do with what you know? And see, if you're new here, you're just meeting us for the first time, welcome. But that doesn't exclude you, it doesn't exempt you. You can't say, oh, Matt, I've not watched the other episode, so I don't know. No, what I'm saying is you're at a point where you have to make a decision to say, I need to do something with my life. I need to do something with my life. And I do believe that we all crave for a very great life. We all crave for good life because we have capacity. And one of you might be thinking, oh, Matt, you don't know me, man. I'm all screwed up. I don't care about that. I don't care about what you've done. I don't care about the kind of life you lived. I don't care about where you are. What I care about is how you were made. You were made with capacity. What I care about is use it. Don't allow the wrongs of yesterday. Don't allow the hurt of yesterday. Don't allow the pain of yesterday rob you of the victories of tomorrow. I would better say, use them as fuel. Use the pain of yesterday as fuel. That regret you wear as a badge, use it as fuel. Let it propel you to the life you have been praying for, if you have been praying for one. If you have not been praying for one, I assume you have been fantasizing about one. Let that regret propel you to that one you have been fantasizing for. So what do you need to do? You need to start building. Enough of the wishful thinking, enough of building castles in the air, enough of fantasizing. This message is to awaken somebody tonight. So let me pause here and speak directly to the person who feels convicted right now. Friend, you're not late. That needs to be said. I need to say that. You're not too late because years were wasted. You're not too late because your attention leaked in a lot of ways. You're not too late because you've started over many times. No. You're not too late because you have drifted. We all have drifted in one time or the other, in different ways. But you do need to wake up now. Because the longer you delay the alignment, the more expensive the delay becomes. That is not condemnation. That is math. It is math. It's 1 + 1 = 2. Life keeps moving. Time keeps moving. Habits keep moving. Patterns keep shaping identity. So yes, grace is real. I agree. And yes, it is not too late. But it is also time. Time to stop living like what matters can wait forever. Time to stop living like you have all the time in the world. Ooh! It's time to stop living like your energy is infinite. It is not. It is time to stop living like your future. Like, it's time to stop handing that future, that glorious future, to emotional weather. It's time to stop letting what is urgent outrank what is sacred. It's time to line up. That is the word. Line up your attention. Line up your energy. Line up your yes. Line up your habits. Line up your days with what your heart keeps saying it wants. That's how things begin to change. Like I will say, get your ducks in the right order. Not just in a row. No. Get your ducks in the right order. When people say get your ducks in a row, I always say that might not always be the answer. Because it might be in a row and in the wrong order, then the ducks will still go astray. Get them aligned in the right order. I would like to continue, but yeah. Let's just continue a little bit before we call it a day. There was a woman who spent years praying for a better life. a more peaceful life, a more focused life, a more meaningful life, a more whole life, And again, our prayers are real. That's what a lot of us do. We go to church, we go to mosques, we go to temples, we go to wherever we go, wherever we pray to. And we pray about these things. But one day, she asked herself a courageous question. Does the way I am living actually agree with what I keep asking for? That question silenced her. It made her stop in her tracks to think. Because suddenly she could see it. Her schedule did not agree. Her habits did not agree with her boundaries did not agree. Her attention did not agree. Her rhythm did not agree. Her prayers were reaching for one future. Her patterns were reinforcing another. And when she saw that clearly, she stopped asking only for change out there. She started cooperating with change in here. She started protecting her mornings. She started protecting peace. She started protecting focus, protecting her energy, protecting what matters. See, these things are not done perfectly, so don't expect it to happen perfectly. But it is done intentionally. And slowly, a new kind of life began to form for her. See, it wasn't glamorous at the beginning, it wasn't loud, but it was real. It was steady, it was clear, it was a less reactive life, it was a more rooted life. And that is what moved me about her story. She did not change because she suddenly became extraordinary. She changed because she stopped scattering what was sacred. That, my friend, is profound. See, some of you keep imagining transformation as one massive emotional moment, as one big bang. But often it is this: you just stop scattering what is sacred. You stop letting everything interrupt what matters in your life. You stop feeding what weakens you. You stop saying yes to what keeps stealing from your deeper life. You stop letting your days betray your prayers. That's how lives change. That's how life change. I don't leave these lessons without giving what I call a practical approach on how to deal with it. Because I want you to leave here or watch this video and remember, how do I deal with these things? How do you begin making your life match what you keep praying for? Number one, get brutally honest about what you say you want. Get very honest. Get honest as much as honesty could be about what you say. What do you want? I'm not talking about what sounds good, what looks good. What what do you really want your life to become? Is it peaceful? Is it steady? Is it calm? Is it deep? Is it discipline? Is it whole? Is it purposeful? Name it clearly. Number two, ask whether your current focus agrees with what you just named. What you say you want, your current view, your current attention, does it agree? Are they in alignment or they are disaligned? See, this is huge because does the way you spend your attention support the life you say you want? You say you want peace. Are you feeding chaos? Are you feeding chaos? You said you want depth. Are you getting scattered everywhere? Living in shallowness. Number three, move what scatters. No, no. Move what matters now, from the edge, from the fringes, move them to the center. All those things that matters, bring them close. Bring them to the center. If it matters, protect it. If it matters, create time for it. Protect space for it. Protect energy for it if it matters. Does it really matter? Does it really matter? Number 4, build structure around what you value. It's very important. It's very important. Now, why do you need structure? I've always said it. Anything in life without structure will collapse. Anything in life without a system will collapse. Or you might just be emotional. You might be loving what Matt says. If you don't have a structure, before you leave here and go and sleep, it collapses. Protect it. Protect that thing that you say matters. Build structure to support it. Number 5, cut an agreement with what keeps weakening your build. Just cut the agreement with what keeps weakening your build. Is it distraction? Sever the relationship with distraction. Is it overcommitment? Sever it. Cut it off. Is it emotional inconsistency? Is it comparison? Is it quiet drift? Do not keep negotiating with what keeps stealing your center. Number 6, focus on cooperation, not just desire. Do not only ask for the life. Do not only go pray to God for a better life. Start cooperating with the life. Start building towards the life actively, intentionally. Focus on it. Focus on it. Number 7, let small daily alignment matter. The life you want is not built only in big moments. It is built in ordinary repeated choices. So let it matter. Let it matter. Number 8, return quickly when you drift. Oh, I love this because we all drift in some way, shape, or form. When you drift, when you see you're digressing, you're taking you're making a detour, return quickly. Don't say, "Oh, I've missed it and that's it." No. You've not missed it. It's just a drift. Come back home. Come back home. Because you will drift. I like facing the truth when I say these things to people. You will drift. I'm not one of those guys that will give you 5 ways to become rich in 5 days. I don't know how that works. I don't know how it works. It is possible it's working, but I don't know. I don't know the truth behind that. What I know is that as you try to get your way to where you want to get to, you will drift. You will, because I sometimes drift too. We all do drift. But what matters is when you drift, come back home quickly. Don't stay too much on the drift path, because driving towards the wrong direction is wrong. And the more you go, you can't get wronger than that. So it's wrong. Being wrong is wrong. 0 multiplied by 1,000,000 is 0. No matter how you see it. When you drift, because you will, make sure the drifting is not the end. Make sure you're finding your way back home. Staying there is a danger. I do hope those 8 points can really help you focus more on the life you say you want, the life you're praying for. This is not prayer time anymore. This is action time. This is time to start building with all you've learned, with all you now know, with all the material you got. You got the sand, you got the stone, you got the nails, you got everything. You even got the excavators, everything. Now go build. Start building. Let me show you the other side. I like this part. Let me show you the other side, okay? What does it feel like when a life begins to line up? What does it really feel like? Number one, it feels cleaner. I didn't say perfect. Listen carefully. I didn't say perfect. I said it feels cleaner, less noisy, less crowded, less divided, less random, less resentful. You start feeling more present, more rooted, more honest, more connected to what matters. You have this more ability to just breathe. The days will still have pressure. That's what I'm saying. The days will still have pressure. But they no longer feel like they belong to everything except your real life. Your yes gets clearer. When you say yes, it is yes. And your no gets stronger. You don't just say no. You don't just say no. Just no, no. My no is my no. Your attention gets selective. Your peace, it becomes less fragile. Your future starts feeling less theoretical and more visible. That is powerful. Because, friends, many people do not even need a glamorous life. Oh, they don't. They just want a life that feels like it finally belongs to what matters. And Focus will hand you that on a platter of gold. Focus will do that for you. It helps you, it helps your day stop fighting your values. It helps your pattern stop contradicting your prayers. It helps your life stop leaking into what was never deserved of it. That is beautiful. And I believe some of you are ready for that kind of beauty. Not loud beauty, not noise, aligned beauty. A life that finally begins to agree with your deepest yeses. Let me ask you this before I go away. How many of you know you're tired of wanting a different life while still living too scattered to build it? How many of you know you're ready for your attention to stop betraying your deeper desires? How many of you know you're ready for your life to start lining up with what you keep praying for? If this is you, I want you to say this in your heart of hearts. I don't want you to type it in the comment. I want you to say it to yourself wherever you are. I will build what I keep asking for. And not just admire it, not just talk about it, not just feel emotional about it. I will build what I keep asking for. That's a powerful declaration there. Because that is the moment where longing becomes cooperation, and cooperation changes a life. Cooperation changes a life. Let me bring this home in the strongest way I know how. Some of you have you've spent years praying for a life that your current focus could never produce. Not because your prayers were fake, but your patterns are fighting them. And tonight, I have something. Let me put it this way. I hope in all this talk, something has become unmistakably clear inside of you. The life you keep praying for will require your attention. The life you keep praying for, it will require your discipline. It will require your boundaries. It will require your willingness to let some things go. It will require your courage to stop scattering yourself everywhere. It will require your focus. Because focus is not just how things get done. Focus is how a life gets built. A peaceful life, a meaningful life, a disciplined life, a present life, a healed life, a purposeful life. And maybe, just maybe, the most emotional part of all this is the realization that some of you have been waiting for it to start cooperating with you, waiting for your yes, waiting for your structure, waiting for your protection, waiting for your focus. See, that is not pressure, that is power. Because it means your life is not only in the hands of chance. Your daily attention matters. Your daily attention matters. And if your daily attention matters, then your next season can be different, my friend. It can be more rooted. It can be more honest, more aligned, more alive. That is what I want for you. Not just inspiration, a more aligned life. You know what? I don't want to do a challenge tonight. I just want you to say, if you remember nothing else from this whole series, and besides, if you've not watched the series, please go watch them from episode 1 to episode 10. I know it's a lot, but go watch them. And also, if you've not hit the subscribe button, make sure you do. It will do you so much good. But that's the way you help us get to more people. I want you to remember this about this series, if you forget about everything. Focus creates the life you've been praying for. Your life moves in the direction of what you consistently honor. Your life moves in the direction of what you pay your deepest attention to. What you protect grows. What you feed grows. What you focus on shapes what becomes real. So stop scattering what is sacred. Stop giving your best to what cannot carry your future. Stop letting the center of your life be ruled by what is merely loud. And start building. Build the life you keep asking for today. Build the peace you're longing for. Build the discipline you know you need. Build the future your heart keeps telling you is possible. Because it is possible. But it will require your focus. All right. This is a point where I say I love you all. But I also want to say thank you for staying with me through this series. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for letting these messages find you. As usual, stay grounded, stay awake, stay focused. You know what? I'll see you again. But this is not the end of the journey. It is the beginning of a more aligned journey. We're starting a new series, and I'm going to set that up on our channel so that we get started. Thank you so much for your time. I really, really do appreciate it. Thank you for supporting us. This is Matt Miller saying good night and do have a great sleep. See you in the next video. Peace.